Hello all, and welcome to this final blended Scotch whiskey review, where we're comparing various types of Dewars. And I'm going to dub this particular review the "I'm going to drink more than I intended to tonight." So when I was going in, getting my water, I accidentally knocked over one of the cans of beers I had in the refrigerator, and that punctured the seal on, the pint can, and so it started gushing. So it wasn't completely open, so it didn't spill everywhere, but it was enough that it broke the seal on it. So now I have to drink a beer after doing this comparison review, and it's kind of a high gravity one at 6.8. So yeah, I'm kind of glad it's still fairly early in the afternoon. Well, actually not. It's almost 6 o'clock. It's just staying lighter. So what are we comparing today? We are comparing Dewar's Japanese Smooth. Oops, sorry. Dewar's 12 years aged and Japanese Smooth. So again, this was a gift from Randall Lim. Thank you again. It was fun doing all these reviews. Lots of comparison reviews. Didn't intend to do so many, but like I said in the beginning of this series, I made a mistake and accidentally got the 12 year instead of the white label. So I ended up having a lot of comparison reviews to go and do here. So we're going to be comparing 12 year versus the Mizunara cask. Now I'm just going to kind of keep it brief to a certain extent because I think I've, you know, I think I've actually kind of done justice in regards to tasting notes, and darn, this one as well, as you can see, this one here is a 12 years, this one is the Mizunara cask. I'm not sure why my depth of field is so weird today. Could have swore maybe I'm a little bit too close or something like that. So as you can kind of see, 12 years is a slight shade darker than the Mizunara cask. Legging wise, the 12 year is much thicker and oilier than the Mizunara cask, which is unsurprising considering the older age statement. Oof. Sorry, my hand is stinging. Remember, I got that blister. So, like, the beer that popped and started spraying was a Goza. So, yeah, nothing like a really acidic, salty beer on top of a wound. Ugh. So, kind of stinging right now. I suppose even worse would be if I got like Scotch on this right now. This is just, uh, mistakes, people, mistakes. Okay, onto the nosing. 12-year aged, honeyed, rich, stone fruit, black cherries. Just a slight note of peatiness without much, not being very evocative of either smoke or iodine. It's just kind of peat. It's just ever so much there. Okay, Mizunara. Got that interesting woodiness, incense-like camphor notes, and then a bit more apparent peatiness. Almost edges into smokiness, ever so slightly. Okay, 12-year aged on the ballot, shall we? Hmm, there's something different. So catching a little bit of golden raisin up front now. But other than that, pretty much the same tasting notes as before. Fairly smooth compared to the white label. Still on the drier side for a Scotch whiskey, but sweeter than the white label, I'd say. Still has that astringency in the long finish, but to a lesser extent. So fairly rich tasting, smooth tasting, but no real taste notes that burst out. Nothing really comes out in you and hits you. So it's pretty drinkable, but somewhat forgettable. One thing that could have really improved it, again, just to up the peatiness a bit, so the smoke starts forming. It's just not there. Okay, onto the Mizunara. So it's rougher than the 12 years aged, in that I'm feeling a bit more alcohol heat, but I wouldn't say it's boozy, because it's not in the nose. It's just sharper edged. And has a bit more of that astringency in the long finish. That said, you still get a lot of those interesting tasting notes that is being lent by the Mizunara oak. As I stated in the previous comparison review, you'll not confuse this with an actual Japanese whiskey, but you will identify that unique taste note that oak lends to it. And that particular taste note gives it a certain interesting quality. Especially that sort of unique, um, sort of perfumey wood essence. I'm not sure. Sandalwood, I guess, maybe. Sandalwood, camphor. It's not as intense as sandalwood. I mean, I've said cedar, I've said sandalwood. It's basically an aromatic kind of wood sort of note to it, along with that sort of peppery spice, shiso leaf. Some reviews say like this has a soy sauce note to it. I don't get that at all. There's like no umami there that I sense. But definitely herbaceous, aromatic woods, spice. Okay, back to the 12 years aged. Smoother than the Mizunara oak cast, but like I said, kind of blah, you know. I mean, I don't mind drinking this neat as much as the white label, but it's kind of eh. So the winner of the various competition. I guess it's not really a competition. Would be interesting to kind of try it. I know they have port and tequila barrel finishes for Dewars, but I'm a little bit done out by Dewars now. You know, I've been reviewing this for like a few weeks already, so yeah, you know, I'm kind of ready to move on to other things. So this is the winner, and this is probably going to be the one I savor the most. I'd like to thank Randall for donating this bottle for review. It, unlike the other two ones, it actually has interesting taste notes. Just be alert that it's, you know, you're not going to mistake it for an actual Japanese whiskey, but it'll have those Japanese taste notes from the Mizunara oak cask finish. And while it's a little bit rough around the edges, I think that interesting quality is enough to kind of recommend it above the other two that we've been kind of reviewing repeatedly here. So yeah, thanks again to Randall Lim. And thanks to everyone for watching. So yeah, this has been your comparison review. And but that's all, folks. I don't know where that came from. That was just a really bad Porky Pig impression. Um, yeah. You know, if I hadn't done the entire video, I'll probably just cut that out because that did not go over. I thought I could make it a little bit closer. It just seems really awkward and cringe now. But hey, I should just change right now my channel name to Awkward Cringe Reviews. But thank you everyone for watching. Cheers.